obviously hoping that remains the case. Doug.
Rick Leventhal, thanks so much.
Sure.
Well, one of the members of Congress who knows the president best is one of the newest members of Congress. That would be Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida, and he joins us tonight to discuss all of this. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on. First, I got to hit you with something that just happened. Apparently, Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, has just tweeted that it would be, quote, irresponsible, given the president's illness, for the Senate to move forward with confirmation hearings for Amy Coney Barrett. What would the president's coronavirus infection have to do with the Supreme Court nomination? Do you know?
Yeah, Chuck Schumer might need to check his checks and balances. I think it's the Senate Judiciary who does the work of these confirmation hearings, and the president wouldn't necessarily need to be there. Tucker, I've traveled with the president frequently. I'm familiar with the testing and other coronavirus protocols that are around the Oval Office and Air Force One. And what I can tell you is that if this virus can get into the Oval, into the body of the president, there's no place where it could not possibly infect one of our fellow Americans. And that's why it's so important to continue executing on President Trump's strategy to allow our country to open up, but then to ensure that we protect the vulnerable, because there is no lockdown that can be a panacea to save everyone from everything, and this is proof positive that's the case. I hope that in a matter of days or weeks, we're not talking about how Trump survived the coronavirus, but maybe how the coronavirus survived Trump. He is the hardest working man I have ever met. He's one of the strongest, and I wish him all the best.
Well, it's such a smart point. I mean, if the president can get this virus, then it tells you a lot about our ability to protect ourselves from it. I mean, how many people watching have college-age kids who are suffering through the restrictions, the draconian restrictions colleges are imposing, who got COVID anyway? So it just tells you maybe we should spend more time working on therapeutics to help people once they're infected. Why does that occur to no one?
Well, it has occurred to the administration. It's why there's been so much work on therapeutics. It's one of the reasons why in America we have one of the strongest survival rates against coronavirus in the world. In fact, I think it is the strongest, even for someone in their 70s, like President Trump is. The survivability rate, somewhere around 95%, so very strong. Again, the answer is not to hunker down, shut down, hide under your bed, and hope that the virus won't ever find you. The answer is to ensure that we live our lives, protect the vulnerable, and then recognize the critical importance of making sure that we continue to make progress on those therapeutics so that we continue to become more and more survivable against the virus.
I'm so glad that you said that. It's such an obvious point. I wish I'd said it first, but you did. What do you know? So, I mean, you're politically astute, I think it's fair to say. What do you assess the political reaction? I mean, how do you assess it? What do you make of how Washington responded to this news?
Well, whether it's the President of the United States or a beloved family member, we would always want to show empathy for someone who in a moment is a little ailed or ill or in need of maybe a weekend off to recover. And instead what we've seen is vitriol, hatred. Some of the things are so disgusting that people are willing to post online and social media, literally hoping that someone die. I can't imagine there's any person I've disagreed with politically that I would wish that outcome on. And I just wish that when the president does resume his campaign activities and his other activities, that we'll be right back to winning again for the American people. I can tell you, talking to a number of White House officials, business as usual at the White House, and the president is still making the decisions. It's one of the reasons he's so charming to the country, is because he is in command, he is in control, and he has made very clear that even from his offices at Walter Reed, that'll continue to be the case.
Yeah, and you're right about the vitriol. We could have spent the entire hour tonight, I was almost tempted, just airing the crap, the garbage, the hate that was online, and I thought, nope, we don't want to make the country uglier, but it was definitely out there, as you well know. Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida, great to see you tonight. Thank you for that.
Good to see you.